Welcome to PARIPOORNA Academy. We welcome you for the online session to listen about the topic on cell division and cell cycle. So in this session we are going to see what is mean by cell division and what are all the different types of cell division, that is mitosis and meiosis. Before that, what do you mean by mitosis, followed by the cell cycle. Shall we go for it? So what is a cell division? So the process of formation of new cells from the pre-existing cell is called as the cell division. So this pictorial image, animated image, usually gives the explanation for it. That is, one particular cell, that is a single cell, is being divided into two halves. See, it is being divided into two halves. That is, the pre-existing cell always gives the way for the development of the new cell, which is called as the cell division. But this cell division is classified based upon the division of body cell and the division of gamete cell, which is nothing but the mitosis and meiosis respectively, which we are going to see in detail. So how the cell division is helpful? It normally helps in the growth of the body, that is the height, from the time of the birth till the time of the death. That is for the growth of the body, the replacement of damaged bodies, such as it may be by a tissue injury or small cut or a small injury, blood oozing out injury. So for that replacement of damaged body, and the reproduction, that is, as I had mentioned before, the gametic cell division, which is responsible for the reproduction process, and finally the repair of tissues, that is for replacing the age-worn cells. So for example, we can say that for one particular day, a human being can able to release 2 lakh types of cells to be just leaving out from the body as he was standing, sitting and walking, which is nothing but the repair of tissues. That means your old cells are replacing and or damaged cells are replacing day by the new cell division process, which leads to the formation of new cells, which is otherwise called as the repair of tissues. So we are going to see in detail about it. So what are all the modes of this cell division? So there are mainly 2 modes of cell division. So one is your direct cell division, that is amitosis process, which happens only in the single cellular organism. The next is your indirect cell division, that is your mitosis process, which happens in your multicellular organism. So what is amitosis? The process which is happening in the unicellular. So in this process, single cell is responsible for dividing, of which the nucleus first constricts from the single cell and divide, followed by the cytoplasmic division, leads to the formation of 2 daughter cells. So for example, you can take the cell division happening in amoeba. See here, the first 2 nucleus is being divided. Inside the nucleus, the cytoplasm is being divided into n number of cells. In this process, the mother cells will become a state called mortal. That means the mother cell body will die and leads to the formation of 4 daughter cells followed by the cytoplasmic division. So it normally occurs only in the specific organism, and the example is your amoeba. So this is the amitosis process. Next, the direct cell division. So the direct cell division is nothing but the mitotic cell division, which happens only in the somatic cells of the body. What do you mean by somatic cells? Somatic means always the body cells, and it starts with the interphase followed by 3 different phases. So what do you mean by interphase? Interphase is the longest phase, the phase which supports or which makes the cell to get ready for the other 3 phases of the cell division. So this interphase happens only in the mitotic cell division, and it is followed by the 3 phases. So the first one is your growth phase, that is G1 phase. So the G1 phase, what happens? The cell normally increases in its size. That is, the cell organelles present in a particular cell started to increase in the size, which is said to be the growth phase, the first growth phase. Next is your synthetic phase. So what happens in the synthetic phase? Normally involves in the DNA replication process. So the synthetic phase, the DNA replication happens. So what happens? See, in this image you can easily see one particular cell is being divided into 2 daughter cells. Always the mitosis results in the formation of 2 daughter cells. So see here, the spindle fibers are being formed. So because of that, the synthetic phase is being started. That is, DNA replication starts by making the chromosome to reach the either end of the pole region. So see, the chromosomes are moving towards the either end, to the poles, to the two north pole and the south pole, again, which leads to the division of two daughter cells. So that leads to the division of two daughter cells. Again, finally, again the spindle fibers are forming, making them to divide again into the two daughter cells. So the result is the mitosis always results in the formation of two daughter cells, which results in the synthesis phase. So it starts in the synthesis phase. So in the synthesis phase, the DNA replication process is being started with the formation of the spindle fibers, and it leads to the separation of two daughter cells. And in the secondary growth phase, all your RNA and proteins are started to form in the secondary growth phase, which leads to the individual cells which is being formed newly from the first growth phase to start regaining its own activity to be done. So that is your secondary growth phase. So this is about mitosis. Next comes your meiosis. So meiosis is a process which happens only in the germ cells, that is in your reproductive cells. So these germ cells, meiosis process is normally divided into two types. One is meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So under this meiosis 1 and 2, there are 5 different processes being happening, which is nothing but prophase, anaphase, metaphase and telophase. So what happens in this prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase? So first in the prophase, all your homologous chromosomes is formed by reaching out 5 different stages. That is lipotin, zygotin, pachytin and diplotin. By crossing these 4 stages in the prophase, your homologous chromosomes is being formed in the prophase 1 or the prophase 2 of the meiosis phase. Clear with that? Next in the metaphase, what happened? Your spindle fibers are started to form, both in the metaphase 1 and in the metaphase 2. For that is meiosis 1 and in the meiosis 2. And in the anaphase 1, your chromosome will start to separate. The homologous chromosome which is being formed in the prophase stage will start to be separated in the anaphase, and finally in the telophase, all your disappearance of particular spindle fibers happening and the reappearance of the organelles such as your nucleolus and nucleus starts in the telophase, both in the telophase 1 and in the telophase 2. So both the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 is said to be the parallel process which is happening in the meiosis cell division of the germ cell. So the result of this is, see in this image you can see, upper one is meiosis 1, lower one is meiosis 2, which is dividing into 2 daughter cells respectively. So meiosis 1 gives 2 daughter cells and meiosis 2 gives 2 daughter cells. So totally 4 haploid cells have been formed in the meiosis process, of which one is said to be your germ cell. Clear with that? So this is how in the mitosis process we have seen only 2 daughter cells is being formed, but in this meiosis process, from this image you can conclude from the upper division of the meiosis 1, 2 daughter cells is being formed. From the lower division of meiosis 2, 2 daughter cells is being formed. So totally 4 daughter cells are being produced from the meiosis process, of which one is said to be your germ cell. So now what is the difference between the mitosis and the meiosis? So the daughter cells resembles the parents in the mitosis process, since it is a somatic cell division. Whereas the meiosis, the daughter cells has the genetic recombination, that is, they carry certain genetic characters either from father or from the mother, because the meiosis happens only in the gamete cell. And here in the mitosis, the chromosome number is same, whereas in the meiosis, the chromosome number is being reduced to half. So mitosis, since it is happening in the body cell, it helps in the growth of the tissue, whereas in the meiosis, it helps in the formation of gametes. So this is the difference between mitosis and meiosis. This mitosis and meiosis leads to the process called cell cycle, which is nothing but a cell is being formed because of this cell division process and ends up its date with a senescent process, which is meaning by cell death. This is said to be the cell cycle. So the cell cycle comprises of the cell division of both which mitosis and meiosis, and finally the senescent, that is cell death, that is the life of a particular tiny cell is being ended, which is known as the cell cycle. Thank you.